Citizens speak out. Across the globe, voices are unifying in Afghanistan, Bahrain, China, France, Italy, Libya, Northern Ireland, Palestine, Senegal, Syria and Yemen as people call for basic rights, jobs, dignity and democracy in their countries.
Senegal. Senegalese riot police dispersed a rally on June 16th, protesting a proposed constitutional amendment which would allow President Abdoulaye Wade to be re-elected to a third term in office by winning only 25% of an initial round of votes.
China. In the city of Zencheng, where police say that 25 people have been arrested thus far in relation to demonstrations on June 10th, Chinese officials on Monday announced rewards of residency permits, $1,500 in cash, and outstanding migrant worker status to anyone who could provide information about the identity of other people participating that day in protests that were sparked after the alleged mistreatment by security guards of a pregnant migrant worker.
Meanwhile, prominent Chinese artist and activist Ai Weiwei was released on bail Wednesday after a 2-month imprisonment. Concerned that restrictions are still being imposed, Amnesty International called for the lifting of all such limits on his freedom of expression.
France. On Wednesday, activists in Paris, France protested financial speculation in the food markets and its effect on rising prices as the group of 20 agriculture ministers met to discuss solutions to the urgent global food security issue.
Northern Ireland. On Monday and Tuesday in Belfast, some of the worst riots in years broke out in a small Catholic community near a mainly Protestant region of the city. Police tried to keep the two groups apart as hundreds clashed, with 3 people who were injured, one of whom was a reporter. Addressing the community and the nation, Assistant Chief Constable Alistair Finlay appealed for calm, saying that violence would only bring unwanted consequences and attention, as he called for dialogue to understand the reasons and to find solutions to the unrest.
Italy. Following protests by Naples residents over the health risks and unbearable stench created by months of garbage that has accumulated in the city streets, newly elected Mayor Luigi De Magistris called an emergency meeting to resolve the issues that include a shortage of treatment facilities and opposition to a proposed landfill site.
Mauritania. Maghrébia Press reports that the Tawassul Party submitted a legislative amendment to protect freedom of expression by eliminating prison sentences for press offenses.
Bahrain. A military court sentenced 10 well-known activists to life in prison on June 22nd on charges that they had plotted a coup during protests over the last few months, while 11 others on trial received sentences of between 2 and 15 years.
Citizens responded in anger to the rulings and poured into Manama's city streets in protest, where Associated Press reported that they were stopped by police with tear gas as they tried to reach the central square. Meanwhile, those being jailed pledged to continue their peaceful demands for rights and freedom while in prison.
Syria. On Tuesday, French Prime Minister François Fillon urged the United Nations to speak out against Syria's brutal crackdown on pro-democracy protests, as several Western governments continue to draft a UN Security Council resolution.
The following day, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon renewed previous calls for the Syrian government to communicate meaningfully with fellow citizens and allow fact-finding and humanitarian missions in the country. Also on Wednesday, Syrian Foreign Minister Walid Mualem pledged the emergence of an exemplary democracy within 3 months through government reforms.
Libya. During the visit of Mr. Mahmoud Jabril, senior foreign affairs official of the Libyan activist National Transitional Council, or NTC, on Wednesday, Chinese Foreign Minister Yang Jiechi affirmed his country's recognition of the Activists Council as an important dialogue partner that has greatly developed its representation of fellow co-citizens. Minister Yang also called on both sides in Libya to make efforts toward resolving issues through dialogue rather than conflict.
In sadness for the lives lost and all who have been afflicted, we pray for the conflicts in every country to cease so that global citizens may choose to share peaceful, free and dignified lives.